I'm just going to get right into it here. At lookout for number one, comments. This is the dishonesty and lack of respect these Christians have toward other religions. The audacity of going to Israel to challenge Jews about Isaiah 53. The Christians are looking at it through the Christian lenses, when in fact they should see it as it was written for the Jews, in all caps. Isaiah 53 belongs in the Hebrew Bible, and Christians are religious thieves. They have plagiarized the Hebrew Bible in the Old Testament. Wow. Well, let's
Let's
go.
go.
As a okay, as a Hebrew speaking Jew living in Israel, I myself and my colleague, who's a native Israeli, native Hebrew speaker, I and many others here have put their faith in Jesus. Look, we honor the heritage and integrity of our Jewish scriptures. We're fully Jewish. We grew up very Jewish. And my relationship with Jesus and my Jewish lens is really the only lens that I can see through. So, this person said that we should see it as written for the Jews and basically no one else. But we're Jewish. So I guess it's written for us too. So what about Ariel? You're really great at bringing this point home. What about the promises that God makes to the Gentiles in the Hebrew scriptures as well?
Well, I think what is sort of assumed in this comment, right, is that there's like, Jews and the scriptures for us, and there's the Gentiles and they have their religions.
Right.
But the entire premise of the Hebrew scriptures is that Israel's destiny is to bless the nations. And so our destiny as Jewish people is completely interconnected with the destiny of Gentiles. That's how God designed it, right? That's in the kingdom, we're in a world where things are connected. And that the brokenness of this world is that people separate from each other, we separate from God, and we want to be in this group and you're in that group and stay separate. But
Right.
that's not the story of the Bible. The story of the Bible is our destinies are connected, and as Jewish people, our scriptures are supposed to be a gift to the world.
Yeah. And I actually have some scripture here, at least five passages that point to God's plan for the Gentiles through the people of Israel. In Genesis 12:3, it says, God promised to Abraham, and all the people on the earth will be blessed through you. So this hints at a blessing for the Gentiles through the descendants of Abraham. Isaiah 49:6 says, God declares that Israel's mission is to be a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring my salvation to the ends of the earth. So this reveals God's intention for Israel to be the vehicle for
Yeah.
his salvation to all nations. Isaiah 60, verse 3. Nations will come to your light and kings to the brightness of your dawn. So this prophecy envisions Gentiles coming to God through Israel once again. Psalm 22, verses 27 through 28. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will bow down before him. And this reflects God's plan for all nations to come to him. And finally, I have Zechariah 8, verse 23. In those days, 10 people from all languages and nations will take firm hold of one Jew by the hem of his robe and say, let us go with you because we have heard that God is with you. So this passage highlights the attraction of the Gentiles to the God of Israel. So when we're talking about Isaiah 53, which has a deep significance in the Hebrew scriptures, it's written to the Jewish people by a Jewish prophet. Yes, and as Jewish believers in Yeshua, Jesus, our faith is rooted in the Hebrew Bible, or AKA Tanakh, not a foreign perspective. But this isn't just about like Christian versus Jew. And I love what you said about the fact that God has a plan for the Gentiles. He has a plan for the whole world. It's not just our club and your club, and we have ours and you have theirs. It's very clear throughout the Tanakh that God has a plan for the entirety of creation, but coming
Yep.
through the chosen people for that mission. Doesn't mean that the Jewish people are better, greater. In fact, the opposite, they were smaller and less powerful. And so God can show his glory that way by coming through the nation of Israel.
Well, and I think a lot of people know the phrase the chosen people, but chosen for what?
Right.
And the Torah talks about being a nation of priests. Israel was set apart by God to be a nation of servants. We're set apart to serve the entire world. And that's one of the meta narratives that weaves through the entire Tanakh. And you see these stories of Rahab and Ruth and Nebuchadnezzar and, all
Right.
these Gentiles from all different backgrounds who are drawn to the God of Israel because of the testimony of his people. And that's the destiny that we hope to fulfill in our own faith walks as well.
Wow, so beautifully put, because it shows so how clearly God's plan is not just for the Jewish people, but through the Jewish people and their representation of God, those others will come to him. Our message is a message of love and respect for our people and believing that it's like the greatest news ever, which is why we share it. I think if people understood Christianity a little bit better, they wouldn't see us as, oh, you Christians are going and invading in other religions, trying to convert people. It's like we're just trying to share the best news we've ever had with the entire world because we love humanity and we want to see humanity experience that reconciliation and peace that we've found with God through Yeshua. I love Isaiah 52:7. It's one of my favorite Bible passages because it says how beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation. And this is just a big celebration of those, and this is from the Tanakh. This is of this, it's a huge celebration of those that bring peace and salvation. And it's like this is the essence of the message that we share as Jewish believers.
Well, and this is a huge value that Jewish people all over the world, whether they're followers of Jesus or not, hold dear, is this commitment to human flourishing. And that's why the value of tikkun olam, repairing the world, is something that Jewish people care very deeply about.
Right.
And I believe that that's something that God put in our hearts to pursue the blessing of all people to make the world a better place. And that's why we share our faith in Jesus. I have a lot of respect for people who have all different sorts of beliefs, but we have experienced this message to be something very powerful to contribute to people having transformed and better lives. And we care deeply about human flourishing, and that's why we share what we share.
Yeah, totally. And to your point, actually, we were talking to our Jewish people yesterday on the streets of Tel Aviv, and we got into some really wonderful conversations about tikkun, about fixing the world and doing great deeds to make the world a better place and to help bring a more peaceful environment to the world.
One of the main things that we tell people is read the Bible for yourself and
Yep.
come to your own conclusion. And so we have no intent to plagiarize or twist the text. In fact, sometimes when we give out Bibles, we give out the IDF Tanakh, the
Right.
official copy that the army uses in Israel and gives to soldiers. So take this seriously. This is the most important questions, about the destiny of our people. And so do your own research.
Yeah, I agree. Good point. And to double down on it, we are Jewish people. We are Hebrew speaking, living in Israel, and sharing our good hope and faith with our own Jewish people, which we are called to do out of love and respect. And our actually a desire to see our people, come to a saving knowledge of their Messiah. So thanks, Arielle.
Well, you live in Israel with Elisha.
Yeah,
I live in the New York City area, which is also, the other Israel.
it is. It is. So thanks for watching and tune in for the next one.